the church came up with a great idea. Why don't we have Pastor Appreciation Sunday? And I thought, hey! So I've been up here saying nice things about you, but everybody else wants to say nice things about you too. We appreciate all that you do. We appreciate the sacrifice that you make. We appreciate the care and concern that you have for people in the city, because there's just not enough people to care enough about people in the city. So just to let you know how much, just to show you a little love, just to give a little loving to you and Theresa. Brother Mike, are you going to start off with this one?
Sure.
Please start.
Well, I just wanted to say, I know Brother Dan just preached a bit about the ministries and about different pastors and stuff, and even how pastors are taught these days to try to find a church that supports them and all these things, and maybe for the wrong reasons they're coming out and doing things. But I can tell you here that this isn't something that we came up with as a leadership team or anything, this pastor appreciation. Many people in the church here have asked for this day for a while now, and we decided on today. So honestly, I'd like to start out just by saying that you have a pastor here that is not out after a good living from his church, housing or any other thing here. I envy the man because he works 40 hours a week or more. Has a family at home, and also spends 4 days a week here at the church, ministering to others. I tell you, he's a great example to me as a godly man and someone after the Lord Jesus Christ's heart. I'm sure everyone would agree with that here. I'm not going to say much more about him at the moment, just a little bit there, but I also wanted to bring up something today. I have a short little thing here regarding the pastor's wife as well. Many times we have in our churches we celebrate the pastor and all that thing and that. And, I just wanted to say a few things about the pastor's wife here this morning. Pastor's wife is always supposed to look nice, smile, sit down in the front row, agree with her husband. Her kids need to be model Christians. She needs to be ready to open her home to people from the church at any time and serve them. It's also good that she volunteers to play the piano maybe, or help in the children's ministry, teach women's Bible study, cook in the kitchen. Well, sometimes these stereotypes can be crushing on the pastor's wife. The Bible supports the uniqueness of each pastor's wife. The Bible has a lot to say about the support a pastor's wife has for her husband, unique personalities, needs, gifts, ministry service, leadership. In fact, I was reading some things here, and that's what I'm bringing up here. A survey found that 80% of pastors' wives say they feel left out and unappreciated by church members. This happens. I mean, I'm not saying this in this case, but it does happen. Many pastors' wives feel unsure about how to handle the role of being a pastor's wife. It's difficult. What's her role? Does she have a job in the church? These kinds of things always go on. Well, there's just a couple of things here I wanted to bring up, some biblical things from the Bible that we have in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 20 and 21. It says, "My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thy heart and tie them about thy neck." There's a lot that pastors' wives have to say that maybe we should pay attention to. Another verse over, there's verses regarding women in the Bible that have taken on this role. I'm not going to go and read them all for the sake of time, but in Luke chapter 2, verse 36, Luke chapter 2, verse 37, in the book of Acts, there we find Anna, a prophetess. In Acts 9:36, we find there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha. In 1 Timothy 3:10, we read about serving as a church ministry leader. It says in 1 Timothy 3:10, "And let these also first be proved, and let them use the office of a deacon, being found blameless." In verse 11 it says, even so, their wives be grave, not slanderous, sober, faithful in all things. Talking about the pastor's wife there. The pastor's wife will also mentor younger women. It says in Titus chapter 2, verses 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to read. The aged woman likewise, not to say that Theresa is aged. Okay? I wanted to get that out of the way right away because it says it there. Likewise, they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of God may not be blasphemed. Some good words there out of the Bible about the pastor's wife. I'm not going to go on with any more, again, for the sake of time, but I do have one other thing. I found a poem by Judy Crow as I was doing some research on this day. And not to take away from the pastor again. The pastor, he gets his accolades. But here's just a little poem, God Sends a Friend. I believe it's about the pastor's wife. It says here, when my heart is hurting, my strength is overspent, my body aches from weariness, a friend from the Lord is sent. She is willing to listen, to say an encouraging word, like the Lord sent an angel, with a voice sweet and gentle I heard. She is not without her pain, for she has trials of her own, but her concern for others is what is usually shown. It is for this friend now that I would like to say a fervent, gentle prayer, and so for her now I pray. Lord, bless this caring person. May joy and peace for her abound, for she shows me courage, and in her new strength I found. Well, what a nice poem about the pastor's wife.
Amen.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, at this time, did you have anything more?
I was going to say, why don't you, I know some people have wanted to get up and give some testimony.
That's right.
As to what Pastor Pete means to them.
So we're gonna call on people to come up for testimonies now. Who would like to give a testimony? Just come on up. First one to get up. Wait. Okay. The rest can just, when she's done, just go ahead and get up. The next person, and we'll go ahead and have some testimonies about the pastor and his wife.
All right, it's been 10 years already. Oh,
Time flies when you're having fun, Nancy.
Praise the Lord. I've been looking forward to this opportunity to thank my pastor and his wife and our whole church family and Dan for your ministry. We are one in the Lord here, and God is good all the time. It's been 10 years. My pastor's been there through every aspect of my life. Help us grow closer to the Lord through prayers. Helped us bury my mother, helped her enjoy life while she was here and the communication with everybody. My pastor has also married my son and daughter and joined them in virtue. And they're not here today, but they are here in spirit and love with the pastor and his wife, and we keep them in prayer also. I thank you for your learning and for nudging me forward and giving me a place in the service. As Sunday school teacher, I am blessed, and Pastor offered that to me right away. And the most important thing I'd like to thank him for right now is to thank him for the salvation of my youngest daughter. My pastor himself and another church member went to my daughter's house on behalf of another friend of hers. Now, the other friend was not interested, but they did lead my daughter in the salvation plan towards God. And before she became my prodigal daughter, she was led to the Lord, and she is strengthened by him during her whole time away. She will be here this month, and through prayer and praise and future teaching, maybe we'd like to get her baptized also in the name of the Lord. And I'm just truly blessed by my church family and Pastor Pete and his wife. And I just thank you for answering the call and all the time that you served us, your church. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Next one up.
what Pastor Pete does, because he has a realistic view of what the church and what people are supposed to be. I wish I had the passion that he had. You know, when he got saved, he told me that he told everybody. Well, I didn't have that. But what I saw was a realistic person that was willing to step out of the normal bounds of what pastor does. And he told me that before he was pastor, he was a Christian, and that's what he did. So his life speaks for him. And the radical things that he does made me take a look at what I was doing. And so I had to look at those things and make a change. And that's what I see in Pastor Pete.
Amen. So next up.
Crazy.
Well, I have been in this building since 1985. Of course, Pastor Pete wasn't here then. My dad was not the pastor then. Pastor Stoddard was the pastor. And then we got Tim McKernan, he was an awesome man of God. And then he left, and my dad became pastor. It was a great mission for Black Rock area. But as the longer my dad preached, I saw something, the fire, I don't know if it was a fire going out in here or what, but we started losing people. I became pregnant with my son, and I ended up going to another church that was closer to me. Things just weren't going between me and my son, or me and my parents. Anyhow, I don't want to go on a long spiel about that, but he started talking about Pastor Pete's mission on garden. And he talked about it for a while. I said, okay, I'll go. So I went. I never felt more welcome anywhere. I mean, I felt welcomed at Westside Chapel when I first started going there, but they closed. And I've never felt welcome anywhere else. I could never really be myself until I walked into that place. And Theresa was there doing the cooking. And Pastor Pete found out who I was. I don't know if that was a mistake or what. But every time he knew I was there, he goes, Marsha! I knew what he wanted to talk about by the second time he said that. When I know about this building, that my dad was ever going to retire and stuff, and I said, you know, you need to talk to him. Well, see if you can get your brother to talk to him. I said, no, you need to talk to him. So I ended up talking to my dad. I said, you know, you really should go see, you keep talking about Pastor Pete's mission, you really should go see it. Actually, it wasn't Pastor Pete's mission, it was God's mission. He was just running it, but you really need to go see what he's doing there. You keep talking about it, go see. So he went and saw. I never lifted from my shoulder. Thank you, God. But he went, my dad went, and they got to talking and stuff. Well, I didn't know that not only was I going to see this church of God blessed, because it was dying. I hate to say it, under my dad, it was dying. And it has grown so much. We've had people come and go for different reasons, but I just thank God for my best friend and for my pastor, and I really appreciate everything you've done for God's church and for Black Rock and for this building. I don't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for that being there. And I really appreciate everything you've done.
Amen.
Who's next? Who's next? Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
So here,
come on up. Well, Sue's making her way up, I'm going to read one from someone who doesn't want to stand up and read it for herself. Pastor Pete, Theresa, this is from your Aunt Rita, who says, I want to tell you I appreciate you today. We're celebrating Pastor Appreciation Day. I'm thankful for being at Charity Baptist Church. You are the best pastor everyone wants. You have a heart of gold. You help people and their needs. And when anyone has a problem, you have an ear ready for them. You always make me laugh. I'm thankful that you chose me to do children's ministry, and I enjoy doing it. One thing I will never forget is that you taught me the He's Able song. Love you, Pastor Pete. From Aunt Rita. Enjoy your day. Come on up, Susie.
I'm up here.
Okay. Not one for the spotlight, are we?
I first heard of a ministry at Charity when I was in a church in West Seneca, and the same guy now that has this enthusiasm walked in and just told everybody about the work in the city. It struck in my heart that that's something that I could help them out with, but I didn't know any more than that. And then they disappeared from the radar. I asked around the church, well, where is this guy? Where is this place? Where is it? No one would say. And then a little later on, I was in another church helping out, and they said we're passing out tracts, and their church was second. Their church was later on in the afternoon, but I couldn't participate. I thought, whoa, somebody knows about this church. So then it came where I started coming to this place. And I knew I wanted, God had to work on me first, coming slowly. And then I just fell in love with the people, what the work was, what the ministry was, and these guys were so real. Amen. Then I had found myself here full time, except when we run away from the Lord. But the verse that came to me was in Thessalonians, and I want to thank God for the gifts that we give thanks to God always for you, making mention of you in our prayers, remembering without ceasing your work of faith, which is here, labor of love, which is here, and patience of hope in our Lord Jesus Christ in the sight of God and our Father. And there was a time I walked into the office and Theresa was there, and I said, I can't come back anymore, I can't stand it. And something happened, and Theresa honed in on it in 2 seconds and set me straight, and then showed me that was the ministry.
Was she preaching?
You were there, you didn't say anything. So we're here to stay. It's real and I love you guys.
Amen.
I'll stand here and see
That's fine.
everybody. Well, my testimony is going to be short, but it's from the bottom of my heart that I remember when I first came here. You know, I was going through a pretty rough time, the death of my husband, and not so long after an illness that put me in the hospital. But, you know, as I kept coming here and kept growing in the Lord, I know now that I have a family in this church, and I praise and thank the Lord for every single one of you, and especially for Pastor Pete and his wife.
Amen. Amen. Anyone else? Yes, go ahead, Mark. Big mouth. Big mouth.
He looked right here and he called Big Mouth.
I'm going to keep it real short.
No.
You gotta go too short. Does anyone understand how hard it is to find a church in this time?
Amen.
Me and Cheryl know. We have been to so many different churches. After leaving one that we thought was a church we were going to be at, so the Lord was back. When we walked through here the first time about a little over a year ago, right? The atmosphere was uplifting. Okay? Pastor greeted us, Theresa greeted us, and that was a blessing there. But the biggest thing I was missing was the message. The message that convicts the heart. I wasn't getting that the last church I went to, or the one before that. But as soon as I heard Pastor preach, right, it was like he's preaching to me. Not just everybody out here, but his message was made for me. And that I appreciate. They opened their arms up to us, gave us a ministry, and put us in a ministry. He even allows me to teach Bible study. I'm amazed.
I got your back, Byron.
For both of you. You've been a blessing in our life.
Thank you.
You've been a positive influence. Both of them. I really appreciate it. And this day is your special day. Enjoy it.
Amen. Anyone else? Harry?
How's it going, everybody? I remember the first day I walked into this building, Pastor Pete was all the way out to Syracuse for food drive. I came in here, they needed some great help. The pantry was all falling apart. And Pastor Keith, the other pastor was here. And what a fun day that was working with him. The walls were falling down, so I turned around, and he's trying to take all these little nails out of the boards so I can reuse them. And what happened was, I said, no, don't do that. I went home and got my equipment. And I put the wall back together, and so God bless that floating wall. Basically, what I had to do was make it float. But when Pastor Pete walked in the door, I asked him, I said, if I come back here to work again, don't let him work with me. But it's been a rough year this year. And Pastor Pete's been there for me. Buried two of my brothers. He was there. You know what I mean? He's always there. He's there for us when we need him. And I want to thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Any others?
We all love you as our pastor, and we love Theresa too. And if I wasn't crying, I'd say, see.
We are talking and you're crying.
Just hear it. Don't tell the truth makes me happy.
Anyone else?
I just want to say.
All right, listen, everybody be quiet. Janice is talking.
When you look around at all the work that has been done, and all the people, I just have to say, not bad for a white boy.
Anyone else? I want to give everyone an opportunity.
That's my influence, by the way. See what happens all those years? That's my influence.
Sue?
Yes, sir. Okay. I'll probably talk less than it gets me to stand up. Okay. I'm not gonna, as if I fall. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate the Wigdors. Okay, on a personal level, they're very dear to me. They're very real. You don't have to say, oh, I bet they're not like that at home. I'm here to say they are. Okay. And you probably haven't noticed, maybe you did, I don't get to make it here. And I'm not judged for that. Okay, I have family members that judge me that way. But I don't judge, and I appreciate that. I always feel welcome here, and not, you know, the pariah that is empty. I don't know what to say. I love you guys. I love your family. I love coming here so when I can get here. I love it. I don't go home saying, well, that was a waste of time. I love I've been to churches like that. I have to say thank you to Pastor Pete because you have me writing in my Bible again.
Amen.
Okay, I bought specifically a library margin Bible so I can write in it, and you have me writing again, so I want to thank you for that.
Amen. Anyone else? Anyone else? Robert's rules, I say it 3 times. Anyone else? Okay. We do have a presentation at this time. What? A presentation. That has the word present in it. Oh! So, we did from the church, we had just a token of our appreciation for the pastor and his wife. Just a card and a little bit of cash in the pocket. Maybe go out to dinner or something. Enjoy yourself. I know we're not able to pay you, $50,000 to $100,000 a year and give you a place to stay and everything, but we do what we can. Well, I just want to thank everyone for their testimonies and such about the pastor. I want to thank Brother Dan for coming out and preaching about the pastor.
This is all about God doing this, folks, because this was very sudden. So like I tell people all the time, you enjoyed the message, you enjoyed it because God got into it. It's not us, it's God. It's always God. And then thank God for a man who gives the credit where it belongs. Thank you, Pastor Pete and Theresa, for making this a place for people and not just bodies to come in and check their religious duty, but to actually be involved in ministry and understand how each of us is partakers in it. I'm going to just say this very briefly, 2 minutes. I'm not against giving pastors a worthy compensation. The scriptures tell us plainly that they may accept it. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 13, it says, "Do ye not know that they which minister about the holy things live of the things of the temple, and they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel." And most pastors really take that to heart. So it's a rare thing to find somebody willing to make a sacrifice in the same way the Apostle Paul did, working with his own hands to make the gospel free. Your pastor works a full-time job and more. Without his wife's support, he could not do this. His family has sacrificed so that he could be in the ministry. You try to remember that. There's always a sacrifice that's made on the part of those, because there's all the days and all the nights that are away from home. So many times it's stuff that only the pastor can do, and we would just want to keep on loving on your pastor, because at the end of the day, he is the front man for your church, and you can thank God that he gave this church the right kind of front man, because that gives us something to rejoice in. We get to rejoice in the fact that he's made this a happier place, that we can serve here with a clear conscience and with the right attitude in our hearts. And it's a lot easier to do that when the man out front is doing it. So one last time, give a round of applause for Pastor Pete and everybody.